Hey family, it's your girl Nachi and I'm here with
Damaris, affectionately known by her family as the Slim Reaper.
If y'all know, y'all know.
Just
Oh my
saying.
god, right. But fam, I don't know if y'all ready. I need to ask, are y'all ready to take this red pill with us and think about all the things that you thought might be real? I mean, does everything seem as it appears to you?
Hell no.
That's what I'm about to say. I don't know. I don't know. And you know what? This is what we're going to get into. Um, so this is going to be a good one.
It sure is because, I just truly believe we should go around in life with a healthy dose of skepticism. I do not
Absolutely.
believe in living life as a smurf. And when I say smurf, I
La la
mean
la la la.
basically, you walk around like la 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 la. No, 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 stop. I call my
Yeah.
niece and nephew Smurfs because they're like a couple of Pollyannas. They think life is great and you can trust everyone. And the reality is no. But not that you go around a paranoid person, but a healthy dose of skepticism is a good balance to have in life. And I'm I'm really excited about this topic because it's fun. It's our last episode of the season, and it's it it's in the world of conspiracy theories, right? Every time society, especially when anxiety is up in uh during a phase in society, conspiracy theories are correlated with that. They go up
Yeah.
just as much.
Yeah.
And so if we break down just the word, right? Conspiracy is a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. That's the word conspiracy. And then the word
Ain't that the
theory,
government?
basically, basically, real talk. Najee, come on, slow down, slow down.
Sorry,
She's
sorry,
already
sorry,
like,
sorry. This is such a good one.
I know, I know. And then theory, by definition, is a speculative idea or plan as to how something might be done. It's the key word here being speculative, right? So there's no proof of that yet. And so when I was looking at how conspiracy theory is defined, there were a lot of sources and honestly all of them were consistent if you looked at it, and they looked at conspiracy theory as an attempt to explain harmful or tragic events as the result of the actions of a small powerful group. Such explanations reject the accepted narrative that the accepted narrative surrounding those events. Indeed, the official version may be seen as further proof of the conspiracy. And so, and that one came from Britannica, but
Hmm.
everything that I read, they looked at it that way, and it was really the rejection of uh, the evidence that may exist and the lack of evidence to prove that said conspiracy theory is is actually factual. So it takes me back when we just kicked off this episode, this idea, and you already said, isn't that our government a conspiracy? you know um I have certain strong feelings about that. You might hear it throughout the show. I don't want to just come out with a straight up answer, but
Right, right.
do you really believe everything the government says? I mean, and if
No.
so, I'm judging you. Secretly and not so secretly, I'm kind of judging you. So don't tell me if you're a good friend of mine and you're like, oh my God, I believe, everything the government says and does is it's, for our best interest. Yeah, no, I don't believe that. And history has
No.
shown that to not be true.
Yeah, because they are very good at painting certain pictures and using people's biases to promote certain propaganda.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I mean, and also the government just has a history of lying to its citizens. So
yes,
why would I believe it everything that it says to be 100% facts or genuine? Like, I think that's just so that, that to me doesn't even make sense. Like, just from a logical standpoint, if you've lied repeatedly to me, am I really going to trust everything that comes out your mouth?
I'm
No.
gonna question it. Yes.
I'm going to question it. Rightfully so. And some people may be like, oh my goodness, Damaris, you're exaggerating. Everything they've done is a lie. Okay, I'm sorry. 70%. Okay. Again, the question still stands. Am I going to believe everything you say as fact or as truth? No. Fact is one thing, but truth? No.
Mhm, mhm.
No. And so I think that's also why conspiracy theories are so triggering, right? Because they speak to a bias that may already exist and they feed off of people's anxieties. And so what we're going to share today, I mean, this is intended to be um a fun one for us. You may not find conspiracy theories fun, but I find it entertaining because I don't
Yeah.
live my life like a smurf. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're down with us and you're interested in this red pill. So I wanted to get into actually the most outrageous theories that turned out to be true. So they're no longer conspiracy theories because the term conspiracy theories implies that it's theoretical and there's no proof that they're not true. But
Right.
these conspiracies actually happen. Oh my gosh. And surprise, surprise,
What?
um, surprise, surprise, the ones that I'm going to talk about today are all done by
Uh-oh.
mm.
Our
Wow.
sweet
Are you
open.
ready, Nachi?
Yes. Tell me what we got. What we got? What we got?
Okay, we're going to start with the first one, which to me is kind of like pretty outrageous. And so I don't know if you heard of MK Ultra,
I was going
Nachi.
to ask, what is MK Ultra?
Yes.
Talk to me.
So it was a project run by the CIA. Oh, wow, surprise, surprise. From 1953 to 1973, right? And it was an illegal human experimentation program designed and undertaken by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, which is known as the CIA, and intended to develop procedures and identify drugs that could be used during interrogations to weaken people and force confessions through brainwashing and psychological torture. So, this was big in the 50s because America was afraid of communism and the
Right.
Soviet spies and all the like. And so they developed this program to try to infiltrate and identify spies and create what they termed as a truth serum, right? But in doing so, they not only experimented on people that may have consented, but the consent was dubious at best,
Hmm.
they also did it on unconsenting US citizens, Canadian citizens, and military staff that they threatened with court martials if they tried to expose the program.
That's
They had
crazy.
labs around the world doing experiments, and they there were CIA connected institutions that ran these said experiments. They use this they use LSD on these individuals, and they occasionally tortured the participants as well. They paid hospitals,
Participate.
prisons, universities for their participation and their silence. In
Did y'all
19,
hear prison? Prisons.
right, come on,
Did y'all hear that? Okay.
right, right. And so of course, they were exposed eventually, and they were and so in 73, the CIA director, Richard Helms, ordered that all documents related to MK Ultra be destroyed. He said, "Oh shit, fucking burn it all." I'm not even kidding.
Oh my goodness. And this was in the 1950s, you said?
To 73, it was a 20-year program.
Damn.
And the reason why I can say that this is an actual conspiracy is because they had congressional hearings in the late 70s. But guess what? Because Richard Helm was like, yo, shred all that shit up.
There was
They
nothing.
didn't have enough evidence, and all the people that, of course, that were testifying, they're like, I don't recall. 20 years,
Of
I don't
course.
recall. I
Of
don't know what
course.
happened. And so
That's
they
wild.
the information that we do have that has been declassified are about 20,000 pages that were moved to a different office that hadn't been destroyed because it was misplaced there. And that is the
Mm,
only reason, but it doesn't really give enough information because I think it was a lot more about as it relates to the budget of the program and other details, but not so much the experiments. But there was some information there that they were able to extract, and that's why they had
right.
these congressional hearings. Okay, there was actually a committee in the 70s to investigate the work that the CIA and the FBI was doing, but yet those organizations still exist. And so when I say 3-letter agencies are 4-letter words, this is what I'm
Mhm.
talking about.
Yes.
You
Yes.
think they care about your existence as a citizen? They're willing to
Nah,
sacrifice an experiment on you so that they can get an edge over the Soviet Union. Really?
that is so wow. And
Unconsenting.
scary at the same
Extremely scary.
time.
Extremely scary. That was number one. Okay, moving along to
Like we're not done. We're not done. There's more.
no, 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 no. The
We have
next
more.
conspiracy. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, no, no, no. The thing, I'm trying to keep this episode short, but guys, there's a treasure trove of this. And like Nachi said in the beginning, it's a whole rabbit hole. And I love it. I'm here for it. I'm your
Mm,
little rabbit hole guide.
yes.
Let's do it.
No,
Let's be
you
like
love
Thelma and
to.
Louise.
Oh yeah, yeah. You love telling me like, do you know who was part of this organization and how that you would link the money like you all you have to say is follow the money and I would tell you
Nachi,
what
don't I always say that? And I
yes.
actually do it.
And
And
yes,
I do it.
and you
I'm like,
map it
oh,
out for me. Yes.
guess who funded that? Oh, right. Right.
Goodness.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I love this.
What's the next one? What's the
The next one, surprise, surprise, this agency again. This, gosh darn it, the CIA, um, collaborating with the media for propaganda purposes.
okay, well
So, yeah. So they have this thing, of course, declassified now, Operation Mockingbird. This is called the CIA propaganda machine. Y'all hear this, y'all?
mm,
So while
you
this
even
is
called it a
right,
propaganda machine.
well, this is declassified from the 50s. Please let's not pretend that the CIA is still in existence, which means that they still have programs in place. So I wonder, but maybe they're not following us because why would
Of
they do
course
that?
not.
Even if they
No.
have a history,
That was
the CIA,
20, 30, 40 years ago. Come on,
they,
guys.
right, they care about your rights now. They
They
care about you as a
turned
citizen.
around.
Yes, they really do. So in 48, this guy Frank Wisner was appointed as the director of this special projects group. Anybody that is appointed to special projects, you need to watch out for those type of people. Special projects are never the kind of special you think they are. But anyway, and they were folded. The CIA eventually took control of this special projects office, and this guy Frank Wisner, he was the purpose of taking control of this organization was to maintain a secret campaign to influence media around the world for almost 25 years. The good 25 years. I'm sure it's
It's
continued, but
been,
they're
yeah.
just like, no, no,
Mhm.
it ended 25 years. Anyway,
No, it's still
Wisner,
going on.
yeah, this guy Wisner, who is the director of this office, he owned respected members of, guess what? You want to know what kind of publications? They
Please.
still exist.
Okay, tell me.
Mm, the New York Times,
Ooh.
Newsweek,
Hmm.
CBS, and other media outlets. By the 50s, there were around 3 6,000 CIA employees and dozens of large global media outlets working to maintain this complex propaganda machine. But I know
Oh,
they must have all got fired immediately after.
because
So guys, don't worry. Like they were fired immediately when this program ended. It
because
Operation
they weren't
Mockingbird.
directed
Yeah,
by
yeah. Right. Uh
Oh my gosh.
yeah, at this time what they were trying to influence was trying to convince the public how terrible communism was and the dangers of it, and facilitated the 1954 animated Hollywood production of George Orwell's Animal Farm. Okay.
Oh, I
Um,
remember that book.
yeah, the book the book is fantastic. So the
Mm-hmm.
Church Committee is the one that exposed the conspiracy in 1975, and they calculated that misinforming the world cost taxpayers $265 million a year.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah,
So
and this church committee is the same committee that exposed the other MK Ultra. But I wonder where the church committee is now. I wonder what happened in Congress. They're too
they
focused on
disappeared.
foreign affairs and bullshit like that. Um, yeah. So that's interesting. And what's funny is that something else that I came across that to me is very related to this, but though not a direct link, but
Mhm.
definitely dotted lines, is that there is a U.S. patent, and this patent number is 6506148, B
Jot
as
it.
in boy, 2. It's called Nervous System Manipulation by Electromagnetic Field from Monitors. So I'm just going to read to you a summary of what that means. So computer monitors and TV monitors can be made to emit weak, low frequency electromagnetic fields merely by pulsing the intensity of displayed images. So basically, all this, in to sum up in one sentence, is that a TV monitor or computer monitor can be used to manipulate the nervous system of nearby people.
This is why there's a whole bunch of us with anxiety and all sorts of nervous system
But
issues.
actually, we don't know if it's being used for that. There is this idea of using this nervous energy that we emit when
Mm-hmm.
we're anxious.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's called loosh, and that is what drives a lot of these vehicles to create a perpetual state of fear for you,
Mm-hmm.
because they need that energy of you being anxious, of you constantly being stressed out. This is why, as a form of self-care, I do not watch the news.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah. No, and it's interesting because I think about I was just thinking about this the other day, how anxiety, it seems like everyone is suffering from that.
Hmm.
And even myself, and
Yeah.
I'll do things like yourself, like I would not watch the news. I'm limited to the
Right.
amount of news that I take in on a daily basis. Um, but I also do things to help my nervous system, like I'll meditate or I'll do
Oh,
yoga,
good.
or um if I know that I'm getting more anxious, I make sure that I'm taking my herbal teas that helps with my nervous system. But it's
Right.
interesting that you say that this was part of their plan.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So, well, this patent has nothing to do with the CIA, but
Mhm.
I'm sharing it because when you hear about this Operation Mockingbird and this idea of manipulating and controlling the media to push
Mhm.
out certain propaganda messages on behalf of the
Yeah.
government, it's not crazy to see how now that the fact that there is a patent out there to emit certain frequencies that actually affect our nervous system. Like, that's
Mhm.
crazy.
Mhm.
I'm not here to say that it's being used for evil purposes or not. I don't know. I'm just telling you that there's a patent out there and it exists. This is actually a thing. I think the patent is from like 2001.
2001.
Yeah, so who's
That's
to
like,
say like how
yeah.
this is being used or not? We have no idea.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
again, we're not sharing this to scare people. This information is to make people aware. Like you need to be
Right.
aware. You need to be a conscious being and make mindful decisions. Be present, right? Don't do things as if you're a robot, as if you're an NPC. Like, your main character, act like one.
Okay. But it's like, you remember, was it Arsenio Hall? I'm aging myself, but he always used to have a segment that went anything things that make you go, hmm.
Oh, oh my goodness,
What is
right,
it?
right.
That's how you have to be on a daily basis.
That's
Things
it.
like this that come up to your, that you're knowledgeable about, it makes you want to think about it.
That's
Like,
it. Like,
what's
it's,
this about? And
yeah,
how can it be applied to me?
exactly. And I, this is why when we talk about reducing time on screen,
Yeah, because we use a
when
lot
I'm,
more devices now. We don't It's not
yeah,
just the TV. We have our laptop, we have our phone, iPads, all
and like
sorts
why
of
they
things.
say you shouldn't have, your phone in your bedroom, the Wi-Fi, like
Mhm.
all these frequencies, yeah, it's disruptive. But, we can
We
go
got
down a whole rabbit hole with
routers
that.
and all sorts of
Everything,
things.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I
very
thought it was nice
interesting.
to connect those two, just in the fact that they're in the realm of here's how we consume information, usually through a TV,
Mhm.
some sort of monitor, whether
Mhm.
it's TV, a computer, your phone device, whatever.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so the next one is also a very interesting one, and uh, some people may be familiar with this because of the show on Amazon that it was based off of. It's Operation Paperclip.
Mm.
This is where Nazi scientists find employment in America. And as I mentioned already, there was a show on Amazon that came out, I want to say in 2020 or 2021,
Mhm.
about these Nazi scientists that were undercover in the US and
I
working
remember
as,
hearing about
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I'm like, great, you have employment. That's wonderful, even though you were part of this regime. But what's
Mhm.
interesting is that, just to describe this, this is so it was a joint intelligence agency that gave authorization to provide 1,500 German scientists, technicians, and engineers from Nazi Germany uh, employment in America, and apparently some other countries, but primarily German scientists. And President Truman agreed to the program with the explicit instruction that it only include those who were not found to have been a member of the Nazi Party, and I guess no more than a nominal participant in its activities or an active support of Nazi militarism. Okay. But this meant that there were certain, like, really um, big name scientists, like apparently Werner von Braun, Arthur Rudolph, and Hubertus Stronghold, who were listed as a menace to the security of the Allied forces. So the
Mhm.
Allied forces, that's the other countries. They're like, these
Right.
people are terrible. So
Right.
they, under this program under Truman, would not fit the requirements of being allowed to find new employment in America. But our lovely Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency decided that these guys were of vital importance to the development of the U.S. rocket program and
So let's bring
created,
them here.
yeah. And so they falsified documentation, they falsified their employment and political biographies so that, and also along the way, completely destroyed all evidence connecting them to the Nazi war
Right.
machine.
Right.
So this government loves having a history of destroying evidence that will connect them to harmful and wrongdoing.
Mhm.
But I thought that was okay. Not
Very
surprising.
interesting. No,
But
no.
but again, I know some of you, you're like, I love this government. I'll die on a sword for it. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
because they gives two fucks about you.
Come on now. Come on now.
But
Eh, eh,
go ahead.
Right. By all means, do what you know, what feels best. And then the last one, which is my favorite, and you'll know why, not you, is the Tuskegee experiment. Oh, the U.S. government loves to experiment on its citizens. Yep, yep, yep. So,
That's not unusual.
mm, so in 1932, the U.S. Public Health Service, with the CDC, the CDC,
The good old
cons-
CDC.
conspired to create a phony syphilis treatment program. So, in this program, there were lying to up to almost 400 African American men who had been diagnosed with syphilis. And this was apparently only supposed to have lasted for 6 months. But but this program didn't end until 1972. And of course, that's when
Hmm.
it became public, only because it became public and the government was forced to investigate and shut down the program. But for 40 years, these men were given dangerous chemicals, offered painful and unnecessary medical procedures under the guise of actual treatment. So they were lied to, even though during that time frame, penicillin had come out to show that, and it was shown to have cured
Hmm.
syphilis. But they didn't give them that. They gave them placebos. They um, and they hid that from patients, even though they told the patients that in this program we will help you with medical care. Lies, fraudulent.
As usual. As
Mm.
usual.
Uh, and they did this so that the researchers could learn about the disease. That's wonderful. These poor
No.
black men and their families, because also their spouses either got infected or sometimes their children were born with this, with congenital syphilis, something like that. They were never treated, and at least at a minimum, 100 died either directly from syphilis or from complications that came from syphilis.
That God, that burns me up.
Mm-hmm.
And in case any of y'all think, oh, this is just the only time. No. I want y'all to
No,
read this book called Medical Apartheid. It's written by
we'll put a
Harriet
link in the notes.
Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about the history of medical experimentation on Black
Mm-hmm.
Americans from colonial
Yes.
times to present. This is not the only time
No.
that this
And the thing
government
is,
has experiment on Black people.
absolutely not. And the other thing too is that you might hear, well, the CDC did this a while ago. The
No,
program ended in 1972. We don't even know
this
about their other programs right now. This program ended in 1972. We're talking about literally 50, a little over 50 years.
they're
That's
still
that's
experiments.
like several generations lifetimes right now.
Hmm.
Like people are alive during that time period. Like stop.
Yes. Hmm.
1972 is when it ended. And only because they got exposed. So
Yep.
please miss me with the bullshit.
Yep.
Miss me with it. Like, well, they wouldn't do that now. Okay, well,
No.
you could be the guinea pig. I choose not to be.
Oh my gosh. No, they are still doing it now. You need to realize
Mm.
that. And that's why you need to question it. But, we'll get to that later.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And the government, I think what people fail to realize is that the government is here to work for the citizens. They are here to serve citizens, not the other way around. I am not here to serve the government. That
Hmm.
the government was created to serve the citizens of this country.
Yeah. Yep.
And it does, and what it does is that it tries to pretend that, oh, no, like, you don't need to tell me how to live my life.
Right. Right.
Nor are you given permission to experiment on my life. You are here because you take my tax dollars, and I need you to do the job that you need to do. And I
And
need you to
that,
take
yeah.
several seats. Take several seats.
Right. 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 Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, yeah, so those are not theories. Those were all conspiracies that were planned by groups of government officials to do harm to people. So, um, they can't be argued because those were actual declassified programs, and there's documentation of these events. Which, I say all of this again, this is not to add fear mongering, because if I wanted to, I could present to you a bunch of conspiracy theories that are current day, but I choose not to because it's irrelevant, right? Because at the end of
Right.
the day, you need to be focused on how to live your best life and how
Mm-hmm.
to increase your frequency so that stuff like this doesn't affect you the same way. Like, I'm not consuming this stuff all the time, but I'm
Yeah.
aware of it
Right.
so that I don't go out there like some Pollyanna and think, okay, yes, well, no, I always ask the questions. And this is where we've talked about this, we're talking about it in this episode and in other episodes, is this idea of critical thinking, right?
Yes.
And discernment. And so let's talk about how do we practice that,
Oh,
right? Like,
absolutely. Yep.
I think I'll start with myself, and part of it is intelligently analyzing the data. When the math doesn't math, the math doesn't math.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. I'm like, okay, 2 plus 2 should not equal 8.
Yeah.
It should be 4, and this isn't adding up.
No. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know?
It's doing that research. It's doing the research, and this is why when we're talking about like we're talking about medical experimentation and being able to ensure that you give an informed consent, which means you have to understand what's being done to you. And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't understand, you need to question it, not just go with what that provider or that healthcare professional is telling you to do, because you need to know what's happening to you
Right.
and if this is right for you. Yes, they may have, their own professional background, but again, you still have to question, and these are things that's happening to you, so you have to be able to question it and question anything that you're being told that you have to do.
Right.
And that's
Yeah, it's
yeah.
you're right. And for me, when I come across anything, I question the motivation.
Mhm.
I That's how I dig deeper. It's asking the question, well, who benefits from this?
Right,
Because I'm gonna
right.
tell you this right now. When the government says jump, I don't ask how high. I just start adding more stuff to my bug out bag.
Like, okay, I see where this is
I'm
going.
this is this is how I operate. So
Let
it's
me get my
it's like,
prep bag.
right, right. Y'all not catching me out here in these streets. Like, no, it's not gonna happen.
Embarrassing her kitties and her husband.
Right, right. My 2 baby cats and my husband, we are out of here. Like, don't play with me. You said do what now? Okay. I That's not gonna happen. Okay. Why? Because I need to make an informed decision. I need to make a conscious decision. So
Mm.
I do that by investigating. I do that by
Yeah,
digging deeper, asking
yeah.
questioning the motivation. Who benefits from this?
Right, right. Right.
Who benefits from this? And I always, 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 always follow the money. And I'll tell you this,
You do. You do.
the government, not just the government, private companies, they are by law forced to disclose a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
They benefit because some Americans have a really short memory, right? They
Yes.
benefit by Americans having a short memory. And just like the whole reason of why I'm sharing all of these conspiracies that occurred is that they happen in less than the last 100 years.
Yes.
And this is just, again, this is for you not to forget that this has happened.
With
So there's
people who
no
are still
reason,
living today.
right? So there's no reason why this still couldn't be happening, because
Mm-hmm.
they've not shown me that they've changed their ways. Any case, like I was saying, they're required to disclose a lot of information, and that includes public facing companies. And so you don't have to do a lot of digging to get to unearth the weird connections.
Mm-hmm.
Literally go into the about us of a lot of these companies, look at the board of directors, click on that, you'll see their bios. You're like, oh, this makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean this guy served as the director of FDA and now he's on the board of Pfizer? I'm just saying,
Yeah.
nothing against Pfizer, nothing against the FDA. I'm just saying, look at that. Wow, what a coincidence, because the FDA is an organization, is a three-letter organization that has to approve pharmaceutical the drugs that come from the pharmaceutical companies. I mean, that's not a weird connection, right?
Is that not a conflict of interest?
No, because he no
Would
longer
you
works
think?
for she or he no longer work for the FDA. Okay, okay. Oh, right, but you don't have friends there anymore. Oh, wait, you do. Oh, but that doesn't
Right.
mean that that influences their decision not to
Right.
chill. Chill, not to chill.
Are
That's
you
not what I'm
sure?
implying. It's
No, it
not what
sounds
I'm
like
implying.
it.
I'm just speaking with the idea of critical thinking. Just put that
Mm-hmm.
thinking cap. Remember in grammar
Yes.
school, they
Yes.
were like, put your thinking cap on. So my thinking cap has been on with crazy glue and has never really taken off. My thinking cap has been glued onto my head. So, and I thankfully leave it there. Adam usually is like, could you please stop thinking and stop reading labels and stop telling me what I can and
Leave
cannot eat?
me alone. Leave me alone.
Yes, yes. He's like, can we watch this show without you spewing out how this is all bullshit? I know, I
But
know.
but they bank on people not reading,
Yes.
and the majority of people
Yeah.
don't read. They just go by,
Or
whatever's
or
being
peel,
told to them.
right, or peel that first layer. Like I'm telling you, you do not even have to dig deep. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just told you, I went to the about us section. I was like, oh, this person, oh, that's interesting. What an odd coincidence.
You're
And
thinking
that's
too
fine.
much into it, Damaris. Come on.
And naturally, I leave it at that. I'm like, that's a coincidence. Fantastic. A
Things
coincidence that I put in my Rolex now file. Okay, thank
right,
you.
right. Things that make
Not
you
a big
go,
deal.
hmm.
Right, right. I mean, but honestly, what they say, you benefit from critical thinking
You do.
through heightened self reflection. I'm
Mhm.
always asking myself the questions.
Yes,
um, Gaining a profound understanding of my own biases, yes,
yes.
and areas
Mhm.
for improvement. All true. I
You're
Just a healthy dose of skepticism. I'm not
right.
going out here like everything that these pharmaceutical companies
Yeah,
do
I know.
is evil and trash. No, there are benefits. People need certain drugs.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's having that open-mindedness that
Yes.
it's being able to, okay, this is what my beliefs are based on my research. If you have something to counter what I've read and my understanding of it, I'm open to hearing that. Tell me what.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's
Absolutely.
all about. It's not, it's not about like, oh, this is it and that's it. No. It has to
No.
be a level of open-mindedness where we can have a conversation and a dialogue
Yes.
around these things and not be labeled as a conspiracy theorist, or
No.
something. Why? Because we question?
I'm just a critical thinker. I like to connect dots. I love puzzles. Nachi could tell you this.
Yeah.
I love puzzles. I love. My husband is always talking about how I should have been an investigator. I should have been in law enforcement because I love to play detective, and I do. I do. I do. It is a hobby, so don't try me. Just letting you know.
She's a
You
sleuth
don't.
detective.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm an internet sleuth, but I wanted to get into a little fun thing about what is a conspiracy theory that you believe to be true, but obviously because it's still a theory, we don't know if it's actually true. But what is
Right.
that one conspiracy theory for you? I can't wait to get into mine.
Well, okay. So y'all know when you see this trail of thin white cloud light that streaks across the sky, and
Uh-huh.
they call it chemtrails. I really do think that there's something that they're putting out there in the air. Now I don't know what it is. It may affect us. I
Nachi,
don't
it's good
know.
stuff. It's probably like potpourri. They're like, oh, I want it to
I
smell good for the rest of the world.
But it's interesting because I see it and I'm like, why is
And we
that?
didn't see it that much growing up. But like the
No,
last 20,
but
15
I
years.
see it quite a bit. I see
Mm-hmm.
it quite a bit, and I wonder what's that about. Something to think about and
They're like, we don't want
dig
people
in.
to ask questions. This is a dummy sprinkle.
But
Ask any more questions. Your business.
sprinkle a little dust over you.
We're not doing anything over here. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle.
Like, I've been telling my kids, I'm like, you see that? Those are chemtrails. And they just look at me like, what?
You're like,
Like,
oh
yep.
my God, Mom. Where's the
They
bunker?
they're putting something out here. and I
Look,
and I feel like it's affecting us in some kind of way. I don't know yet. I'll find out, but
we'll find out in 20 years. Have like a baby Quado coming out of our bellies
girl.
from Total Recall. Yeah.
Girl. Mm.
Okay. Okay. So mine is the moon landing.
Mm.
I do not believe we landed on the moon. I just don't. And, before y'all get all crazy out there like, oh my God, I bet you're a flat earther. No, no, I'm not. I'm not. I just don't believe we landed on the moon. And simply by logic. I'm just going by logic. I've told you guys a million times I'm like a Vulcan. To me, if it doesn't make sense, it just doesn't add up. And so here are the reasons why to me it doesn't make sense. So starting off, we're the only country to have landed by the 70s, right? We had a 13-year program, the Apollo program, that we landed several times. And we just decided to scrap the program.
Mm.
We just decided to scrap that program. We were like, okay, been there, done that.
We just
Like we
want to
had
go back.
t-shirts. Yeah. T-shirts like, been there, done that, the moon. What? Oh, okay. And then no other country has decided to do this. They were like, nah, America's done it. It's
Right.
all good. Right.
We're the best.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
No one can compete with us.
yeah, apparently not. That's
No.
one reason. And so, of course, I looked into why NASA says we have not been back because, again, I just find it ridiculous. They say because it's too expensive. I'm like, wow.
Don't we have like
Wait, Nachi.
rocket ships that go out?
This is coming from the country that prints its own money. Too expensive. Just print out more money. Okay. I know that's not how it works. Before people are like, it's embarrassed. It doesn't work that way. Um, but like, really, because so when I looked at, so apparently, according to the Planetary Society, which is planetary, I think .org, the total lunar effort between 1960 to 1973, adjusted for inflation, is about 280 billion. So no small chunk.
180 billion?
280 billion, yes,
Oh my
adjusted for inflation. So expensive. Okay, but it was also a 13-year program. So you do
god.
the division. I'm like, okay, well, you're
Mm-hmm.
telling me from 73 to 2024 we've now wanted to go not once and throw in a few $1 billion.
I
So
mean, we
just to
throw
put it,
billions of dollars
not
on
you.
other
Wait,
things.
let me just explain to you. So the Iraq War, as of 2014, was 815 billion, and
Wait,
that was yeah
815 billion?
815 billion, and that
War
cost.
is
So
money to me.
don't I'm like, guys, don't be like, oh my God, Damaris, you made that figure up. No, I didn't. It was from the cost of Iraq, Afghanistan, and other global war on terror operations since 9/11 by Amy Belasco, a specialist in the U.S. Defense Policy and
Ooh, there
Budget,
goes the specialist.
December 8th, 2014. This was a white paper done for Congress. So it's
Hmm.
official. So yeah, 815 billion. So, and you're telling me that we couldn't have 280 billion was for 13 years and for several missions. We couldn't have done one mission for some like $50 billion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The math isn't mathing.
Hmm.
So the another thing, the astronauts called the president from the moon to his landline. Like, I needed the president to be on like a satellite phone because that's the only way you're actually getting the connection, right? So, but you get the call on your land. What? Like, I'm confused. I'm like, right,
Hello.
okay. They're like, Damaris, you just don't understand the science behind that. Okay, maybe I don't. But to me, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And the
Hilarious.
funny thing is that, so one of my good friends, she grew up in the DC area, and so her family is pretty well connected from that area. And her father obtained an autograph from Buzz Aldrin, one of the
I
astronauts that
remember you saying
landed,
this.
quote, on the moon.
Right.
And I'll go into her apartment and she has it on her wall. I looked at it, I pointed to it and I said, fake news. You know that didn't happen, right? I said, you know that did not happen. She was just like, leave me alone. And God bless her, because she just lets me ride with it. It's just like, whatever, it matters. And it's like, I'm just saying that didn't happen. And honestly, it was kicked off because of this documentary that was released that I can't find anywhere, but it was released like in the early 2000s. Um, and it was on like Channel 5 in New York City. And it was about how the moon landing was fake. I was dying. And I was like, but you know what? I should have just assumed that it really happened because, again, this was all part of the propaganda to really rile Americans up about, like, we're going to beat the
Yeah,
USSR and get
yeah.
to the moon first and stick a flag there, and that's all we're going to do, and come back and do it 5 more times and never go back.
They
What? Like,
play they play on our ignorance all the time, y'all.
yeah, and like, and so, and again, on the anxiety, oh,
Yeah.
communism is spreading. We need to be careful. We should be fearful. I mean, I just told
Hmm.
you about Operation Mockingbird, and that was the
Hmm.
propaganda machine that's in the CIA. So,
Right. Mm.
look, 12 astronauts have walked the moon. Four are There are only four still living. It's easy to control 12. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's easy to control 12 people. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God.
But that's it. That's the only one that I'm like, like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
might just need to be tortured to death because I'm like, no, didn't happen. Maybe so I'm not gonna
I
be
don't
tortured.
believe it. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I still
But
don't believe it.
right, didn't happen. Negative.
Look at the picture. Look at this
Right, yeah.
picture.
You mean the picture that was taken in a Hollywood studio? See, this is what I'm saying. Like I can't even get into it. But plausible. I'm not crazy. But if you
No,
think
it
so,
is plausible.
that's fine.
Again, being open-minded and hearing your thoughts about that. That all makes sense. Like,
I'm just saying.
didn't
I'm
think
just saying.
about that.
Yeah,
Makes a
yeah.
whole lot of sense. Oh
But
goodness.
I enjoyed this a lot, and
Yeah, this is good.
I'm glad I was able to expose myself. I'm being really vulnerable here, guys, by sharing this with
Yeah.
you, and I hope you can appreciate the vulnerability that that I shared with you guys about the conspiracy theory that I believe to be true. And so I'm also excited that this is the last episode of the season because I think we've had a great season, and I'm uh,
Yeah.
happy to close out. with this, and just enjoy some time to prepare for the next season, because it's always going to be exciting stuff, and we really appreciate the support that our listeners have been providing, because you really are part of our tribe. So I appreciate all of you.
Yes, we so appreciate y'all.
Awesome. And so, as always, gonna close with, there's a lot of noise out there. I just walked through what that noise was. All these all these operations.
Shut it out,
But
guys.
our message is consistent. Stop getting distracted by the smoke and mirrors. Tune out the noise. Focus on your purpose in life. Breathe, people. Breathe, breathe, breathe. We're
Yeah.
meant to be joyful, so focus on that. Vibrate higher. And always, thank you for listening.